The argument from religious experience. I've just had the most profound experience ever. I believe it was of God. That's ridiculous. Haven't you heard of the God helmet experiment? They take this helmet, and it's got all its diodes and gizmos attached, and it runs this magnetic pulse all over your brain, and it makes you think that you've had the experience of God. That might be so, but you and I perceive reality in about the same way. We both have to trust our senses to deliver to us an accurate image of the real world, after all. And it's all happening in our brain. And if I can't trust my brain, well then, as far as I know, we could all be just a brain in a vat. That's right, we could be, but there's no evidence that we are. Therefore, we're in the real world, but your sense of that particular thing, there's a different explanation for it, so you can't know which one it is. So there, nah. The problem here is that for the person that's having the experience, whether the experience is produced artificially or naturally, it feels the same. Maybe they can differentiate intellectually between the two. I know intellectually that the experience is being generated artificially, but that does nothing to negate the fact that I can also feel this just on my own. And if I can trust my brain with reality to some extent, then why shouldn't I trust my brain now when it's telling me that I've had this experience? There's at least two possibilities. Either it's nature or it's God. Well, maybe it's aliens, but nonetheless, it's one of those two things at least. The argument for and against both need work, both logically and scientifically. There has been the brain helmet experiment, but there's also been the brain helmet experiment done where the helmet itself wasn't actually a brain helmet. It appeared to be a working brain helmet, but it was just a prop. It didn't actually do anything. They were testing the placebo effect. You will experience God when we put this on you. And people that were able to have religious experiences and had reported them in the past did overwhelmingly have that experience just from a placebo effect. So then, when the person engages in ritual that will propel them towards having a religious experience, and they tell their brain, okay, we're getting ready to have this religious experience, this is what we do right before it. We sit in a certain place, we fold our hands in a certain way, we sing a certain song, we think a certain thing, then the brain's going to produce that experience. Perfectly natural. Fully a placebo that you give yourself. And if there was a transmission from God to us, we could never detect it because such transmissions would be supernatural in origin, and you can't use science on the supernatural. So there'd be no way to ever prove the supernatural. So you're left between something that can be proven, the natural, and in fact has been shown to be an explanation, versus something that could never be proven, the supernatural. Let's see, which should I choose? The thing that I can prove or the thing that I can never prove? Well, I feel like it must be the thing I can never prove, so it must be that. It just feels right. And if that argument works for you, you rely completely on emotions and not on logic. So there's zero way to prove the